Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Pitt County to bring to you about a fatal crash that happened earlier this morning. Highway Patrol says the mishap happened on Highway 13 and 11 near Bethel shortly after 10 a.m. Troopers say 70-year-old Clifton William Jr. of Aurora was heading north when his pickup truck crossed the median. He then collided with another truck driven by 67-year-old Timothy Hutchinson of Winterville. Now, both men died at the scene, and troopers are still investigating why Williams' truck went into the median. Now, we also want to continue with the ongoing case involving the assassination of Charlie Kirk. NBC's Morgan Chesky has more on the latest.
Yeah, right now that 22-year-old murder suspect Tyler Robinson is being held inside this Utah County jail, and authorities tell us that he's being held in a special housing unit where investigators can keep him under close supervision. And since he's been brought into custody, investigators have been digging into his personal past. Over the weekend, Utah's governor telling our own Kristen Welker on Meet the Press that right now Robinson is not cooperating with authorities. However, his roommate is, adding that his roommate is a male transitioning to a female who had no idea Robinson was planning any kind of attack. Now, Charlie Kirk's views on transgender people and trans rights have been openly critical, but authorities say that it's still too early to tell right now whether that relationship had a direct correlation into the attack on Kirk last Wednesday on the campus of Utah Valley University. In the meantime, Turning Point USA, the conservative group that Kirk helped co-found, is planning a public memorial at the football stadium where the Arizona Cardinals play in Arizona. The president confirming he will be in attendance. Turning Point USA also adding that since the passing of Charlie Kirk, they have been receiving inquiries nationwide from college campuses asking to establish chapters. Telling NBC News, so far, they've received more than 35,000 requests for more information. In the meantime, as Robinson sits inside this jail, we do anticipate formal charges to come tomorrow. Among those, aggravated murder, which in the state of Utah does carry the potential for the death penalty. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Orem, Utah.
Thank you very much, Morgan, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast. It's been a little bit of a mixed bag. It all depends exactly where you are in eastern North Carolina to kind of determine where really kind of what your forecast has been so far today. Some of us have been stuck under the gray skies pretty much from the time the sun came up to right now. Others have seen maybe a few sun breaks here and there. Others have seen predominantly sunny skies. Again, this is all a matter of where you are watching from. If you're closer to I-95, hey, you've enjoyed the sunshine so far today. You will have a little bit more cloud cover moving overhead over the next few hours, but even still, there is certainly some sunshine heading your direction as we make our way through the rest of today. As you head further eastward towards Highway 17, that's what we've seen, kind of a little bit of a mix. We've had some sun breaks, but we've also had rain showers and some gray skies. Those of you watching along the Outer Banks, you guys have been gray throughout most of the day. A few sun breaks, yes, but certainly a day more defined by the gray and the rain showers that have been coming down. As over the past hour, the Outer Banks have just really been soggy from Ocracoke all the way across Hatteras and then extending northward over Highway 12, even extending back up towards Virginia. It's just been a wet day along our immediate coast. Now, as you can see, a lot of those rain showers looking a little bit more sparse as they try to push their way further inland. Right now, what's not giving up is the winds. Winds are still holding at a fairly strong 10 to 20 miles an hour sustained across eastern North Carolina. 77 degrees in New Bern right now, comes with a northerly wind at 15 miles an hour. You can see again the wind-driven waves on the water there. It does not look like we're seeing a whole lot of whitecaps, but that may be just a weird camera angle. Certainly, again, some wind chop there along the Neuse River. Here's what we've got as far as your air temperatures go. Upper 60s right now from Hatteras to Manteo, even to Elizabeth City. On the flip side of that coin, we've got the low 80s showing up in Kenansville as well as Goldsboro. Everyone else kind of falling in between. It's just one of those days where trying to pinpoint an exact average air temperature across eastern North Carolina is going to be a fool's errand because of just this area of low pressure that's off of our coast. It's creating, again, just a big difference in fortunes for at least weather fortunes for people today. Right now, 10 to 15 mile per hour sustained winds for many inland areas. That goes up to around even about a 10 to really 15 to 20 mile an hour sustained breeze closer to the water. However, Manio is sitting there with a 31 mile an hour sustained wind. We've had some really strong winds across the northern Outer Banks. That's Elizabeth City included in there as well. Another station, again, had a 29 mile per hour sustained wind as we checked at the top of the last hour at 1 o'clock. Here's what we've got as we head through the rest of today. Again, spotty showers will bring about some heavier downpours as we head later on tonight into tomorrow. Big reason for that is the area of low pressure is going to be getting closer to eastern North Carolina. So a lot of those heavier downpours that reside closer to the center of that low will then get pushed over eastern North Carolina. From there, that low is gradually going to work its way a little bit further northward. You can kind of see that swirling pattern try to work its way north of Elizabeth City and into the Chesapeake Bay. That will again start to limit our rain chances, but even then, coming up for tomorrow, still anticipating rain showers coming down across eastern North Carolina at times. Spotty showers, yes. Now that area of high pressure back towards Arizona and New Mexico, that's the area of high pressure that will eventually get us back to completely sunny skies as we head towards the end of this week. But it's going to be some time before that truly gets here. Between now and at least Wednesday morning, our forecast is really going to be at the mercy of that low pressure system. The faster it moves up to the north, the faster we can get out of the rain and back to a little bit more of the sunshine. But even by Wednesday morning, still anticipating mostly cloudy skies as we wake up. Those clouds will gradually fade through the day, leaving us with a sunnier picture coming up later on Wednesday afternoon. We also need to talk about the tropics. We've got an area of concern denoted by that X, and you can see lots of thunderstorms around that area of low pressure, but not seeing those thunderstorms really forming any sort of a swirling and rotating pattern that would signify more of a tropical system. Over the next 48 hours, this system has a medium chance of tropical development, a high chance over a 7-day stretch, though, and it's that 7-day stretch that could put this system a little bit south of Bermuda. Now, long-range models, again, indicating that this is most likely not going to be a system that impacts eastern North Carolina, but this is still a long ways out. I'd say at least 10 to 15 days away. So for now, trying to determine whether or not we will see any impacts out of that system, again, is kind of grasping at straws. Just want to make sure that everybody's kind of on the same page as that's not something we need to worry about immediately. Here's what we've got coming up over the next 8 days. So tonight and into tomorrow, first alert weather days because of the heavy rain showers that are going to be present. Areas, again, that suffer from poor drainage on the eastern side of Highway 17 will have a pretty good chance of seeing some ponding, some flooding there. Isolated, yes, and fairly minor because just about all of eastern North Carolina is currently abnormally dry, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. But even still, again, heavy enough rain over a short enough period of time will result in some isolated flooding. Wednesday, that chance of rain starts to diminish. Thursday goes down even further. Friday, we're dry. Saturday, through the daytime, at least most of the daylight hours, we again are looking at very sunny skies, calm conditions. But then later on Saturday evening into Sunday morning, another weak front will try to roll by. It's not going to amount to much. Could give us maybe a few showers, but certainly nothing again that's worrying me from a severe weather standpoint at this point. So again, things are looking good for the Pirate game coming up on Saturday. That's all we have time for today's 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Monday.